Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings to all honorable judges, respected educators, my fellow student teachers, and all the viewers today. My name is Mohammad Danial bin Adanian, and today I want to present about the future of TVET in Malaysia. So I want you to take a moment and think back to your secondary school days. Think about classroom layout. We all knew who sat in the front row. They were the ones who could memorize history textbook word by word. They could solve complex algebra problems in their sleep. We looked at them and said, these are the bright ones. These are our future doctors and engineers. But what about the boys and girls sitting at the back? The ones who could not focus on a whiteboard for more than 10 minutes. Maybe they are struggle with written exams, but outside of the school, they were the ones fixing their father's motorcycles. They were the ones taking apart broken radios just to see how the wires connected. They had a different kind of brilliance. They had a brilliance in their hands. But how did our education system treat them? How did our society treat them? We label them as pelajar kelas belakang, the back-class student, the academic failures. We create a cruel stigma that broke their confidence. We told them if you don't get straight A's, if you don't go to a traditional university, you have no future at all. But today, I stand before you to talk about those students. I want to talk about the future of technical and vocational education and training, or TVET in Malaysia. Because the truth is, the students we once looked down upon are exactly the ones our country desperately needs right now. Let's be honest about the negative stigma. For generations, TVET was treated as the ultimate plan B. It is often perceived as an educational path primarily for students who have discontinued their formal education. Imagine the heartbreak of a 16-year-old student discovering they have a talent for carpentry or culinary arts or automotive repair, only to hear their parents say, please, just focus on your study, on your books. What will the neighbors say if you go to a vocational college? The general public and parents in particular still carry the false impression that TVET programs are a dead end that fail to provide a real career advancement. We actually create a society obsessed with paper qualifications. We tied human dignity to university qualification or university degrees, but in doing so, we made a very terrible mistake. We forgot that a nation cannot be built by theories alone. You can draw the most beautiful blueprint for a bridge, but if you don't have the skilled hands to weld the steel and pour the concrete, that bridge will only ever exist in the paper. By treating TVET students as a second class citizens, we didn't just hurt their feelings. We actually held back our own country progress. But thankfully, right now, the world is waking up. If we look at the reality today, the old rules of success no longer apply. The research and academic data tell a very clear and painful story. Right now, in Malaysia, we are facing a massive skills mismatch. According to Department of Statistics in Malaysia, in the second quarter of 2022, our labor market was heavily skewed. with 62.2% of jobs falling into the semi-skilled category, while highly skilled positions made up only 24.9%. So we have thousands of university graduates walking up and down the streets unable to find jobs, while our industries are starving for technical talent. Just how bad is this shortage? The Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers report that a severe shortage of highly skilled professionals like engineers and technicians result in an estimated loss of RM 50 billion in national income over just 8 months. RM 50 billion loss simply because we do not have enough skills hand. We are living in the era of the fourth industrial revolution. TVET is no longer just a program, it is officially recognized as one of the 14 vital change drivers within the 12th Malaysian Master Plan. So the future is about electric vehicles, smart agriculture using drones, advanced robotics, and green energy. So to tackle this, the government even earmarked RM 6.7 billion in budget 2023 specifically for Tibet initiatives across 7 different ministries. So when a giant multinational tech company opens a facility here, they are not looking for standard office workers. They are looking for mechatronic experts, coders, and welders. TVET is no longer the backup plan. It is the master plan for Malaysia, for the youth, for our citizens. So as someone who is currently training to step into the classroom as a teacher, this issue is very close to my heart. When I look at my future students, I know that I not I cannot force them all to fit into the same academic mold. If we want TVET to succeed in Malaysia, the change cannot just come from the government building more vocational college. The change has to come from us. It requires a complete change of heart. It starts at the dinner table. It starts with parents realizing that a diploma in automotive technology is just as honorable and just as profitable as a degree in business administration. It starts in the school counseling office. We need to stop using vocational schools as a threat. We must launch comprehensive rebranding campaigns to completely eradicate the myth that TVET is an inferior or irrelevant form of education. Instead, we must look at a student who loves technology and say, "You have a mechanical mind. TVET is your golden ticket to the future. So grab it." We must also demand stronger collaborations between our educational institutions and the corporate sector. When a student learns a skill on Wednesday, it should be the exact skill the factory needs on Thursday. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have spent too many years looking down on the people who keep our world running. When the lights go out, we don't call a philosopher, but we call a technician. When our car breaks down on the side of the highway, we don't call a lawyer, we call the mechanics. We call the people who works with their hands. So it is time we give them the respect they have always deserved all this along. It is time we bury the kelas belakang stigma in the past where it belongs. So let us build a Malaysia where every talent is celebrated and where the hands that build tomorrow are finally given the applause they all always deserve. So that's all from me, and thank you, and hopefully this is good sharing for all of you.